the first woman to shoot down an enemy aircraft in combat, and the first woman to become a fighter ace, Lydia Litvyak. Lydia Litvyak was born on the 18th of August, 1921, to a Jewish family in Moscow, Russia, and became interested in aviation at 14 and had her first solo flight at 15. She graduated the Kherson Military Flying School and became a flight instructor in 1937. However, tragedy struck that same year as her father was disappeared and labeled as an enemy of the people during as part of Stalin's Great Purge, which, okay, what is it with just epic women in history and losing somebody close to them? Both Litvyak and Budanova lost their dads before the war, and there are a whole myriad of other women fighting in World War II and other conflicts who lost husbands, fathers, babies, etc. Despite Stalin's disappearing her father, Litvyak remained patriotic, and by the time 1941 rolled around, Litvyak had trained 45 pilots. Of course, on June 22nd, 1941, Germany invaded the Soviet Union, and shortly after, Litvyak attempted to join the Red Army, but was turned down due to lack of experience. Okay, this is what I was talking about when I said that women faced much discrimination from recruiters. Women were required to have far more flight hours than men, simply just because of being women. And if you've trained 45 people how to fly, I think you have enough flying experience to be able to fly yourself. But maybe I'm just wrong on that one. Of course, so Lydia proceeded to a different recruiting office and added 100 hours to her flight time, allowing her to become a fighter pilot in the 586th Aviation Regiment. In summer of 1942, Litvyak flew multiple combat missions, leading to her transfer to the 437th Fighter Aviation Regiment, along with Budanova and a couple of other pilots. On the 13th of September 1942, Litvyak got her first two air-to-air victories against a Ju-88 and a Bf-109, which was flown by Erwin Meyer, becoming the first woman to shoot down an enemy aircraft in air-to-air combat. Meyer was captured by the Soviets and asked to see the Russian ace who had shot him down, and refused to believe that Litvyak had shot him down until she gave him an exact, absolutely perfectly exact play-by-play of the entire dogfight. He then offered Litvyak his watch, to which she replied, "I don't accept gifts from my enemies." On the 14th of September 1942, Litvyak would get her third air-to-air victory, which was split with Yekaterina Budanova, and during her time with the 437th Aviation Regiment, Litvyak earned the nicknames, the White Lily of Stalingrad and the White Rose of Stalingrad, due to the white lily she painted on the nose of her Yak-1, which was often mistaken for a rose. In October 1942, Litvyak was transferred to the 9th Guards Fighter Aviation Regiment because the 437th didn't have the facilities to maintain the Yak-1 due to not being equipped with that particular aircraft. And in January 1943, the 9th Guards Fighter Aviation Regiment was re-equipped with P-39 Airacobras, which were provided by the U.S. via Lend-Lease. And Litvyak was transferred to the 296th Fighter Aviation Regiment. The 296th Fighter Aviation Regiment would later be redesignated as the 73rd Guards Fighter Aviation Regiment, which is surprising to me because all the guys were hitting on Litvyak, like all the time, like constantly. I'm legitimately surprised that I couldn't find any incidents or evidence. Blarf. I'm legitimately surprised that I couldn't find any evidence for any incidences where a male pilot flew up next to Litvyak and called over the radio, "Hey, beautiful, what you doing for dinner tonight?" And Litvyak just replying, "Whatever they're serving, now get back on the mission and you might live." Dude, she's shooting these guys down faster than the Germans are. Except for one, who we'll get to in a minute. In February 1943, Litvyak was awarded the Order of the Red Star, and Litvyak was, during her time with the 296th Fighter Aviation Regiment, allowed to join an elite group called the Free Hunters, which is a group of the most elite pilots who worked together in pairs and took on missions of their choosing. Her favorite partner was Alexei Solomatin, and some sources say that they were engaged or potentially even married in secret. In March 1943, Litvyak was wounded for the first time during an engagement with a Bf-109, which shot her in the leg. On May 21st, 1943, Solomatin was killed when his plane crashed on the runway in front of the entire regiment, including Litvyak. After this point, Litvyak would continue to see success on the battlefield, though it would feel completely hollow to her. In May 1943, Litvyak took on her most challenging opponent yet, an artillery observation balloon that was protected by anti-aircraft fire. Now, they tried several other guys before, but they were all doing the same thing. Just fly straight at it and try and shoot it. Which, they kept getting shot down. What can I say? You know, you're literally doing the same thing over and over again. This is the definition of insanity. So Litvyak raised her hand and is just like, "I have an idea!" Basically, and so her idea was to do the obvious thing, which was to fly around it and attack it from behind. Which actually worked. In June 1943, Litvyak was made flight commander of the 3rd Fighter Aviation Squadron of the 296th Fighter Aviation Regiment, and Litvak's final flight occurred on the 1st of August 1943, in which she was escorting a group of IL-2s on a bombing run. On the way back, Litvyak spotted a group of Ju-88s and veered off to attack them, not knowing that Bf-109s were escorting the bombers. And she got jumped by 8 of the escorting fighters and was shot down in flames and shot in the head, killing her instantly. However, because her body wasn't found, there remained a possibility that she had been captured, and because Stalin was Stalin, anyone who got captured, didn't matter if you went down fighting or surrendered, did not matter. If you went down fighting and still got captured, you were considered a traitor. So she was not the title Hero of the Soviet Union. Litvak's mechanic, Senior Sergeant Ina Paspalnikova, went on a 39-year-long search for Lydia's crash site, discovering her crash site in 1979. Litvyak was awarded Hero of the Soviet Union on May 9th, 1990 by Mikhail Gorbachev. On the 30th of July, 2019, the metal band Desert released their album Fortune Favors the Brave, on which there is a song also called Fortune Favors the Brave, which is about Lydia Litvyak. Freaking amazing song. Go listen to it.